Imagine finding deep joy, real purpose, not by cramming more into your already overflowing life, but just by reimagining what you already do. What if the biggest shifts in our well-being didn't need these huge gestures, but actually came from those, little things that maybe aren't so little after all? Welcome to the Deep Dives. Our mission today is to unpack exactly that, how these simple, intentional shifts in your everyday routines could be the first sip of coffee, could be reflecting at night how they can profoundly boost your physical, your mental, and your spiritual well-being. We've pulled together insights from, well, all over mental health experts, mindfulness gurus, basically giving you a shortcut to making every single day feel a bit more special.
Yeah, and in this deep dive, we're definitely going to explore those crucial differences between just plain habits and really powerful rituals. We'll look at the science, the fascinating reasons why these small intentional actions have such a big impact on our brains, our bodies. And then, really importantly, we'll give you some practical, actionable ways you can actually weave these into your day. We're drawing from experts at places like Calm, Better Up, Rituals, va.gov, even some cool insights from, online communities like Reddit and Psychology Today.
Okay, let's dive right into that then. What is the big difference between a habit and a ritual? Because honestly, sometimes they sound pretty much the same.
That's fundamental. Habits, like we often talk about, are those things our brain does on autopilot. They're behaviors we do without much conscious thought. It's efficient, saves brain energy.
Right, like washing your hands after the restroom. You don't really think about it. You just do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Your brain's just running a script.
Yeah.
Now, rituals are habits, but they're sort of elevated. They're still repeated actions, sure, but you consciously add intention, you add attention. They're chosen actions. They have personal meaning, maybe even societal value.
Yeah.
That goes way beyond just the practical outcome.
Okay, so it's the meaning you bring to it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
There's this author, Casper ter Kuile, who puts it really nicely. He calls rituals bridges that help us cross from one way of seeing the world to another.
Yeah.
So when you practice a ritual, you're not just doing something, you're kind of enacting values like gratitude or connection, or just finding a moment of calm.
I like that, bridges. It reframes the whole idea. And speaking of mindset, you mentioned before how our brains have this negativity bias, right? Always looking for threats. How do glimmers fit in there? What even are they?
Right, the negativity bias. Super important for survival back in the day, maybe less helpful now when it makes us focus on the bad stuff. So, glimmers. This term comes from Deb Dana, a clinical social worker. They're basically micro moments, tiny little cues of safety, peace, joy, things that signal to our nervous system that it's okay to relax, to feel regulated.
Micro moments, like tiny little sparks of good.
Kinda, yeah. They're not huge events. They're small, often fleeting things that help us shift back to a calmer state.
Okay, give us some examples. I think people will recognize these. And then, crucially, how do we get better at actually noticing them? Because they sound like they could slip by easily.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the feeling of warm sun on your face. Simple, right?
Okay.
Or just having people you care about nearby, quietly in the same room. That smell of coffee brewing in the morning, that's a classic glimmer for many. Or even seeing a dog with its head out a car window, just enjoying the breeze. These are all examples from the sources.
Okay, yeah, I can picture those.
The key thing isn't just that they happen. It's that we consciously tune in. We have to practice slowing down, just for a second, observing, and letting that little flicker of peace or happiness actually register. It's an active practice. The more you do it, the better you get at catching them.
So it's about paying attention on purpose.
Exactly. And when you start collecting these glimmers, and you intentionally weave in meaningful rituals, that's when you see a real impact on your overall well-being. The World Health Organization defines well-being as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just, being sick. And the research backs this up. Focusing on nurturing your energy, really prioritizing sleep, managing stress, these things significantly boost health and happiness. It's not about adding hours, it's about enriching the ones you have.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it, that these seemingly small things can be so impactful. You mentioned mental health benefits. How can simple rituals act like a natural antidepressant, as some sources put it? How does that work with the brain chemicals?
Yeah, it's more than just feeling good. These chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, they're vital regulators. Dopamine gives you motivation, that reward feeling. Serotonin helps stabilize your mood. Endorphins are like natural mood boosters and pain relievers. When you engage in a ritual, you actively stimulate the release of these. It creates this positive feedback loop.
Ah, so the ritual itself becomes rewarding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your brain starts associating that mindful morning routine, or whatever it is, with feeling calm and good, which, makes you want to do it again. It reinforces the habit, but in a positive, intentional way.
So it builds on itself. It's not one big fix, but this continuous process. That makes sense. And what about this ripple effect? How do these small moments build a foundation for, overall health, both emotional and physical? They seem so small sometimes.
Think of it like compounding interest for your well-being.
Yeah.
Every small, intentional act is a deposit. Over time, they add up to huge returns, whether it's mindful movement, how you eat, connecting with people. These micro-investments build resilience. They help regulate your nervous system, dial down chronic stress, and literally strengthen the brain pathways linked to positive feelings. And really, consistency is so much more important than duration. A few minutes every day beats a long session once a month. It's an ongoing, nurturing process.
Okay, I think we get the why. It's powerful stuff, but let's bridge that into the how. How can you listening actually weave these moments into your day? Let's get really practical, starting with the morning.
Yeah, let's do it. A great, simple place to start is just a consistent wake-up time, even on weekends. If you can manage it, it helps your body's natural clock, your circadian rhythm, and then right away, drink a glass of water. You're naturally dehydrated after sleeping for hours, and even mild dehydration, Dr. Ravi Gill points this out, can cloud your thinking. So, hydrate first thing. It replenishes you, helps flush things out, signals a fresh start.
Okay, wake up, hydrate. Got it. Then what about moving? I know I feel better if I move, but finding the time, does it have to be a huge workout?
Not at all. Even just 5 to 15 minutes makes a difference.
Right.
Gentle stretching, maybe some Pilates, or just a brisk walk around the block.
Right. Claire Mills, a physiotherapist we looked at, says morning movement kickstarts your day in the best way. She talks about the endorphins boosting mood and clarity, and I guess making that choice to move even for 5 minutes before the day grabs you, that feels like a ritual in itself, prioritizing yourself.
Exactly. That intentionality is key. Then maybe an invigorating shower. You could try ending with just a few seconds of cold water. It's a bit of a jolt, yeah. But it boosts circulation, releases more endorphins, wakes you right up. Or if cold showers aren't your thing, use scents. Energizing ones like sweet orange or cedarwood can help shift you from sleepiness to alertness.
And if you have maybe another 5 or 10 minutes, meditation.
Definitely. Even a short morning meditation can be transformative. Just sit quietly, focus on your breath. It grounds you, cuts stress, sets a calmer tone for the whole day. It's about preparing your mind, rather than just reacting to emails first thing.
Good point. Less reaction, more intention.
And finally, breakfast. Fueling your body properly. Protein, healthy fats, complex carbs. Gives you sustained energy, avoids that mid-morning slump. It's about honoring your body's needs.
Okay, so those are some solid morning rituals. What about during the day, when things get hectic? How do we stay present and connected then?
Nature walks are surprisingly powerful. Even just getting outside for a bit, a walk in a park, even around the office block, it clears your head, lifts your mood, and it actually lowers cortisol, that stress hormone. There's this whole field, ecotherapy, which is basically using nature therapeutically. It helps calm down that fight or flight response.
I definitely feel better after being outside. And what about cooking? You mentioned turning that from a chore into something meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're cooking, try to really pay attention. Notice the smells, the textures, the sounds. This mindful approach makes eating more enjoyable, sure, but it also makes you more tuned into your body, which often leads to healthier choices. And when you eat, maybe take a second to feel grateful for the food or remember good times shared over meals. It turns a basic need into a moment of presence.
It's a lovely idea. Okay, now, the big one for many of us, tech. Digital overload. Our sources talk about detoxes and breaks.
Oh yeah, this is crucial. Stepping away from screens, even for short bursts.
Tell me more about this digital detox idea, because it sounds great, but also hard. The sources suggest even 10-minute tech breaks. And Casper Terkula, you mentioned him earlier, he apparently lights a candle and turns off all his devices Friday night to Sunday. Wow. He calls it feeling like going on a vacation. Is this about a dopamine detox? What does that mean?
Essentially, yes. Our devices give us constant little hits of dopamine notifications, likes, new emails. It keeps us hooked. Taking breaks, whether it's 10 minutes or a whole weekend, helps reset that reward system. It makes you less dependent on those digital hits and maybe more appreciative of the slower, subtler joys of the real world around you. It helps restore focus and presence.
Resetting the reward system. Okay, that makes sense. It's intentional disconnection.
And another powerful daytime ritual, acts of kindness. Doing something nice for someone else, big or small. It actually triggers your brain's own reward system. Releases dopamine, yes, but also oxytocin, that bonding hormone. It reduces stress, combats loneliness, makes you feel more connected. Could be a compliment, holding a door, volunteering. It benefits you just as much as the other person.
That's a great reminder. It's not just altruistic, it helps us too. And that connects to the next point, right? Fostering actual social connections.
Hugely important. There's that famous Harvard study showing quality relationships are one of the biggest predictors of long-term happiness, more than money or fame.
Wow. So how do we ritualize connection?
Be intentional about it.
Right.
Schedule check-ins with people you care about, join a group, a club, and when you are with people, practice active listening. Really be present. It's a conscious investment in those bonds.
Okay, so morning, daytime. What about winding down? Evening rituals for rest and reflection seem just as important.
Absolutely vital. Setting the stage for good sleep. And number one, again, is dealing with tech. Disconnect from screens at least an hour before bed. That blue light really messes with melatonin, your sleep hormone. Swap screen time for something calming, read a book, listen to gentle music. Let your brain actually unwind.
And create the right atmosphere, right? Dim lights, maybe soothing scents like lavender, and keeping the bedroom cool. I've heard that helps.
It does. Experts recommend keeping it between 60 and 67 Fahrenheit. That's about 15.6 to 19.4 Celsius.
Yeah.
A cool, dark, quiet room signals sleep time to your brain. It's a crucial ritual for preparing for rest.
Okay. What about snacks or drinks?
Keep it light if you need something. Sleep-friendly snacks like cherries or kiwi might help. And definitely non-caffeinated herbal teas. Chamomile is a classic. Avoid heavy meals or alcohol right before bed. They really disrupt sleep. Think of it as gentle nourishment before stillness.
Makes sense. And reading, not on a screen, obviously.
Right. Reading a physical book is fantastic. It's a mindful escape, lowers stress, can even lower blood pressure, and definitely promotes restful sleep. Helps you disengage from the day's worries.
And breathing techniques or gentle movement.
Yes. Mindful breathing is powerful. Try the 4-4-6 technique. Inhale for 4 counts, hold gently for 4, exhale slowly for 6. It really calms the nervous system. Gentle yoga or stretching can also release any physical tension you're holding from the day. It's a nice way to complete that wind down.
And finally, one that feels really potent, reflection and gratitude journaling. Taking time to think about the day, maybe write things down.
Oh, this one is huge. Spending just a few moments reflecting. What went well? What was challenging? What did I learn? Journaling helps process it all, reduces stress, brings clarity. But the gratitude part specifically, how does writing it down make such a difference?
Yeah, why writing versus just thinking it?
The research here is pretty amazing, actually. People who regularly write down things they're grateful for, even just weekly, tend to exercise more, have fewer physical complaints, feel more optimistic, and just generally more satisfied with life. Some studies show writing down 3 good things that happened each day and why they happened can make people happier and less depressed for months.
Wow, for months, from just writing things down.
Yeah. The physical act of writing seems to help solidify the thoughts. It creates a tangible record of positivity, which seems to reinforce those positive neural pathways in the brain.
So how does someone listening start with gratitude journaling?
Keep it simple. Find a regular time, maybe right before bed. Aim to write down, say, 3 to 5 things you're grateful for from that day. And don't just list them. Take a moment to really feel the gratitude. Reflect on why that thing matters to you. As you said, writing it down seems more powerful than just thinking it. Use a nice journal, put notes in a jar, use an app, whatever makes the ritual feel meaningful to you.
Making the ritual itself special.
Exactly. And one more layer to that, expressing gratitude directly to someone. There was a study, the Gratitude Visit, where people wrote and delivered a letter of thanks to someone who'd made a difference. It gave a significant happiness boost and reduced depressive symptoms for weeks afterward. Sharing the gratitude completes the cycle.
That's beautiful. A powerful act of connection. So as we wrap up this deep dive, the big takeaway seems to be that well-being isn't this huge far-off goal. It's really a journey, built one small, intentional step at a time. The magic isn't about finding extra time you don't have, but about bringing intention and attention to the moments that are already there.
Precisely. And please, don't feel like you have to do all of these things starting tomorrow. That would be overwhelming. Just pick one, or maybe 2. Something that resonated with you. Start small. Consistency really is more important than how long you do it for. these benefits compound over time.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. What if the greatest transformation isn't about completely overhauling your life, but simply about starting to notice and truly making count all those countless little things that were always there just waiting for you to see their magic?